Babes, we have to talk about the absolute delusion on the internet today because the reality TV girlies have lost their minds.
Oh my gosh, they have completely, utterly lost the plot. I mean, I am talking full-blown, undeniable, what planet are we living on levels of delusion today.
Babes, welcome back. And of course, good morning, good evening, good day, good night.
Yes, whatever time zone you were snarking from or, whatever adult responsibilities you are actively avoiding right now, we are just so thrilled you are here with us.
Babes, it's Wednesday morning, and honestly, we were feeling fancy. So yes, we went back to Starbucks again.
We did. We absolutely did.
And babes, we got the caramel ribbon crunch frappuccinos. And babes, these things are dangerous.
Listen, as a dental professional by day, I'm sitting here looking at this plastic cup, right? And I'm just calculating the sheer volume of sucrose.
I know.
My professional soul is weeping. Like, I know exactly what this does to your enamel. I know the microscopic warfare currently happening on my molars as we speak.
Oh, totally. It's bad.
But as a snarker by night, and clearly by early morning, my soul is singing. It is hitting every single dopamine receptor I possess.
Exactly. It's like it is an actual spa-level luxury experience in a plastic cup. When you take that first sip and you get those little crunchies.
Oh, the crunchies are everything.
Right. And the caramel drizzle that coats the inside of the dome lid. I am treating this frappuccino like it is a 5-star vacation.
It really is.
Because honestly, why does expensive coffee always taste infinitely better when someone else makes it? Like if I tried to blend ice milk and caramel at home, it would taste like, I don't know, watered down tap water and financial regret.
Absolute disappointment.
But when the barista hands it to me, it's nectar of the gods.
It's the psychology of the siren logo, I swear to you. There is a deeply ingrained behavioral response we have developed. But since we are being analytical here, and because I just love to torture myself, I actually did the math this morning.
Oh no, please don't.
While we were sitting in the drive-thru line, I started calculating the exact horrifying dollar amount we have collectively spent at Starbucks just this month.
Do not say the number out loud. I will physically cover my ears. I rebuke that energy. I do not want to know.
Let's just say we could have funded a small indie film, or maybe put a down payment on a gently used 2004 Honda Civic.
Cup it.
It is wildly financially irresponsible. Yet every single time we pull into that drive-thru, we look at each other and do the exact same mental gymnastics.
We totally do.
Or like, oh, we worked hard this week. We looked at so many cavities. We dealt with so many difficult patients. This is self-care.
It is self-care.
Okay.
Okay. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and my cup requires caramel crunchies.
Fair point. Fair point.
But speaking of things we skipped in the name of this so-called self-care, babes, we did not make it to Pilates this morning.
Not even close.
The reformers were ignored. The stretching was ignored. The fitness goals were completely ignored. But babes, we absolutely made it to the gossip blogs.
Oh, we sure did.
And babes,
Yeah.
the blogs were on fire this morning.
Absolute spontaneous combustion across the entire Bravo, TLC, and reality TV universe. It was truly a midweek emergency.
It really was.
It's almost like these publicists wait until Wednesday morning when our willpower is at its absolute lowest to just drop a nuclear bomb of gossip on our timelines.
It is a phenomenon. Why does the most earth-shattering, foundation-cracking celebrity drama always, without fail, drop right before we have to go to work?
I don't know, but it's a trap.
Like you're sitting there trying to mentally prepare to look at x-rays all day, trying to be a functioning member of society, and suddenly someone gets arrested, 2 people break up, and an AI robot takes over a competition show.
It's the universe testing our work ethic, and spoiler alert, we fail the test every single time. Waking up to a gossip morning like this feels exactly like waking up on Christmas morning when you're 8 years old.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
You see the notifications flooding your home screen, you open Reddit or Instagram, and the dopamine just floods your system. You don't even need the frappuccino at that point, you know? The tea is caffeinating enough.
It really does. For everyone listening, you know exactly what I mean.
Yep.
It is physically impossible to answer a professional work email or like pretend to care about a clinic budget spreadsheet when the tea starts flowing like this.
Oh, completely impossible.
Your hands are shaking, and it's not even from the sugar rush.
No, it's from the sheer audacity of these reality stars making the most unhinged life choices imaginable. But before we get into the absolute chaos they unleashed today, we have to talk about our other current coping mechanism for reality.
Yes. Oh my gosh, babes. We are officially back on our book talk spiral.
We are so deep in it right now.
And honestly, we need recommendations immediately. So please, to our entire Snark squad listening right now, Drop your absolute favorite books in the comments. We are desperate.
We are voracious. We are burning through pages like it's a competitive sport. And I have to share, Babes, my co-host here, started reading letters to the men I have loved.
I did.
And Babes, it is so good. I have been watching the emotional devastation happen in real time across the clinic hallway between patients.
Oh my gosh, I am entirely consumed by it. I am putting it out there right now. Poetry deserves a massive comeback.
Hard agree.
We need to normalize carrying around poetry books again. It gives ultimate hot girl summer energy. Like, picture it. You're sitting at the beach or even just at a cafe. You've got your oversized sunglasses on, a massive iced coffee, and a book of deeply emotional poetry. Unstoppable.
It really is a whole vibe. It screams, I'm complex, I feel things deeply, but I am also highly aesthetic.
Yes. But we do need to confess the real reason books have completely rewired our brains lately.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like carrying a physical book is just the ultimate camouflage for adulthood.
It is.
It makes you feel smarter. It makes you look like an intellectual to the outside world, when in reality, you are actively using it to avoid your actual responsibilities. It's like a magical shield against the real world. Someone tries to talk to you about taxes. Just point to the book.
100%. You just go, sorry, I'm currently unpacking generational trauma through this stanza. I literally cannot look at a W-2 right now.
Exactly. But honestly, book talk is a dual blessing and a severe financial burden. Between the daily Starbucks and the daily bookstore runs, we are basically funding the entire publishing industry at this point.
We really are. But we have such wildly different tastes. Like, I will aggressively defend the emotional rip-your-heart-out romance books, the ones that make you ugly cry at 2 a.m. into your pillow.
Hey, I can't do it.
If I am not sobbing onto the pages and questioning the very concept of true love, I just don't want to read it.
And see, I aggressively defend the thrillers. Give me the dark, twisted mysteries. I want the books where every single character is secretly a terrible, manipulative, highly flawed person, and the plot twist leaves you staring blankly at the wall in pure shock.
That is so dark.
That is superior literature to me. I don't want to cry over fictional love. I want to be deeply suspicious of everyone around me. I want to learn how to, hypothetically, hide a body.
Babes, you just described our daily life analyzing reality TV. You don't need a thriller book for that. You just need to turn on Bravo.
You know what? That is a very fair point.
Right. But seriously, which genre is actually superior? The one that gives you an emotional catharsis and makes you believe in humanity? Or the one that gives you sheer paranoia and trust issues?
Listen, paranoia keeps you sharp. Paranoia ensures you never end up on one of these gossip blogs we're about to dissect. But we could spiral into the genre debate for hours, and frankly, the internet is waiting.
We really could. Okay, Thaís. Enough pretending we're intellectuals discussing the merits of literature. Because the blogs were absolutely unhinged this morning, let's get into the gossip.
I am so ready.
We have to start with the absolute mess brewing in the Bravo universe. Specifically, the karma coming for the cast of Summer House. Grab your frappuccinos, folks. This is a heavy pour.
I am braced. Lay out the trend line for me, because the hypocrisy I'm seeing from these reality stars is just staggering right now.
Okay, we are starting with the Karma Cafe segment. The Summer House Shakedown. Ciara, West, Amanda, and Kyle. The tea is literally boiling over.
Spill it.
Ciara Miller just did an incredibly revealing interview with Interview magazine, and she explicitly said that Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson have, quote, some bad karma coming in their future.
Ouch. She did not hold back.
She didn't. She actually gave parting advice for anyone going on a reality show, saying, don't screw your neighbor in the next room.
Wow. Let's analytically break down this entire Scamanda timeline, because the PR spin they're trying to feed us is frankly insulting to our intelligence, and the math is just mathing in a very suspicious way.
Makes no sense.
Right. So at the Summer House reunion, West and Amanda sat there with completely straight faces and claimed they only started seeing each other romantically in late March. They tried to paint it as this fresh, innocent, post-filming development.
Which nobody believed for a second.
Exactly. Everyone, from the fans to the cast, has been side-eyeing that timeline hard. Especially because right after that explosive reunion wrapped, the very reunion where Ciara is visibly heartbroken, crying, calling Amanda out for her lack of loyalty, where are West and Amanda sparted.
Literally at an Italian wedding together, looking very cozy.
Yes. They are traveling internationally together immediately after claiming it's just a new casual thing.
Just casually jetting off to Italy together. Do you know how much logistical planning goes into an Italian wedding trip? That is not, we just started holding hands in late March kind of trip.
Yeah.
And You chose the guy that I dated. You're a snake in the grass.
That is exactly what Ciara yelled at Amanda at the reunion. And babes, I'm reacting purely emotionally here, but she is 100% right.
She totally is.
The betrayal of Amanda dating her former best friend's ex-situationship is just staggering to me. We are talking about New York City. There are literally millions of men in that city. Finance bros, tech guys, artists. Why him?
Because reality TV is an incredibly incestuous little bubble. They are trauma-bonded by the cameras, and frankly, they just lack the imagination to date outside their call sheet.
That is so true.
West is proving Ciara's point beautifully here. He is, to borrow Kyle Cook's own words from the reunion, an immature, fraudulent phony. He played the lovable golden retriever all season, reaped all the benefits of fan adoration, and the second the cameras went down, he revealed he's just another F-boy.
He really did.
But what elevates this from standard messy dating to a top-tier Bravo crisis is that this is all happening while Amanda and Kyle Cook are navigating their highly publicized official separation. Yes. And the rumors swirling around production right now are wild. Domois reported that West might actually be fired from Summer House entirely.
Wait, really? Fired?
Yes, because Ciara supposedly went to the producers and gave them a strict him or me ultimatum. And apparently Bravo looked at the board, realized Ciara is the heart of the show right now, and chose her.
Which, if true, shows a massive shift in power dynamics over there. Ciara has incredible sway now, and she absolutely should. She carried the emotional weight of that entire relationship storyline last season.
She totally did. She was so vulnerable.
If Bravo actually chose the woman's piece over the man's antics, that is a very rare win in the reality TV landscape. But wait, we cannot discuss the Summer House ecosystem and Kyle Cook without bringing up the absolute bombshell that Lala Kent just dropped over on her platform.
Oh my God, I gasped. I literally dropped my phone onto the clinic floor when I read this.
It was jarring.
Lala Kent claimed that she heard through the grapevine that Kyle Cook is a killer in bed and that he knows exactly what he is doing. And she went on to say that while he isn't typically her type, she might take him for a spin if he let her.
The visual of Lala Kent and Kyle Cook interacting in any romantic capacity is something I never thought my brain would have to process. It is a crossover of chaotic energies that might actually tear a hole in the space-time continuum.
But wait, I have to push back on this rumor heavily. Okay, let's use some critical thinking here. If Amanda and Kyle had a deeply documented, frequently discussed dead bedroom for 10 years, which they talked about constantly on television to therapists, to their friends, how on earth does Lala know he's a killer in bed?
Right. The math isn't mathing there either.
Did Kyle magically unlock a new level of riz the second he filed for separation? Was he just hoarding all this spectacular bedroom talent for a decade just to unleash it on the newly single Bravo market?
It's the hypothetical post-breakup glow-up, the ultimate rebrand. But someone in the comments of that clip made that exact brilliant point. How would anyone out in the wild know about his prowess unless he had either cheated during the marriage or unless he has been exceedingly active in the very short time since becoming newly single?
That is exactly what I'm saying.
It's fascinating how the narrative around a reality TV man shifts the second he's uncoupled. Suddenly he goes from the negligent husband who works too much to the ultimate bachelor stud. It's PR spin at its finest.
It is wild how the narrative flips. But going from that ridiculous, slightly amusing rumor mill to some actual genuine sadness coming out of the Summer House world, we really have to talk about Daryl Levitan and KJ Dillard.
Yes, this is a much heavier situation, and it really strips away that glossy, fun veneer of Bravo. KJ was recently on Carl Radke's podcast, and he revealed the incredibly painful detail that Dara broke up with him while he was actively hospitalized.
We really need to treat this with the gravity it deserves, while still, analyzing the reality TV machine behind it. At the Season 10 reunion, KJ was remarkably brave. He revealed he got a late-in-life diagnosis of borderline personality disorder.
Which is huge to admit on that platform.
And on Carl's show, he really elaborated on what that looked like behind the scenes. He admitted that pre-show, he was in a terrible place. He was struggling financially. His modeling gigs were slow. He wasn't in proper therapy. And he was only taking anxiety medication, completely unaware of his secondary BPD diagnosis.
He was incredibly transparent about his mental state. He admitted he was essentially taking all his internal struggles out on Dara without even being consciously aware of the damage he was doing to her and the relationship.
Yeah, that pressure cooker environment is brutal.
Filming a reality show while dealing with an undiagnosed personality disorder is just a recipe for disaster. He ended up hospitalized after a severe self-harm incident, and it was after he entered a recovery facility that Dar made the decision to end the relationship.
Which is absolutely heartbreaking to hear. But from a psychological standpoint, I completely get it. Like, we sit here and talk about the messy, fun, performative drama of reality TV relationships, like the West and Amanda situation, which is just petty gossip. But this KJ and Dara situation is the very real dark side of what happens when real human beings with real trauma put their lives on camera.
Absolutely.
KJ even said something really profound. He noted that if they had stayed together while he was in recovery, his entire focus would have been on saving the relationship and pleasing her, instead of doing the hard work to save his own life.
That is a remarkably mature and self-aware perspective from him now. It takes a lot of therapy to reach that level of clarity. It's a stark contrast to the performative apologies we usually see on these shows.
It really is.
It highlights the immense invisible pressure these people are under. When you combine a genuine mental health crisis with the glare of public opinion, the demands of producers, and the stress of maintaining a televised relationship, something has to break.
It really does. It's a reminder that these are real people. And speaking of the dark side of reality relationships, where people are pushed to their absolute breaking point, let's look over at Southern Charm and the absolute heartbreak of Taylor and Green. Because if KJ is an example of taking accountability, Taylor's ex is a masterclass in the exact opposite.
Oh, this was such a tough listen. Taylor went on Nick Viall's podcast and officially confirmed her split from Gaston Rojas. And the details she shared are incredibly toxic. We are talking about textbook manipulation here.
She claims Gaston gave her a hard ultimatum to quit Southern Charm. He basically sat her down and told her, either you go back to the show or you date me. You can't have both.
That is so controlling.
And because Taylor has always been someone who values relationships and wants that traditional love story, she stepped away from her primary source of income and her public platform for him, only to find out he was allegedly cheating on her on Valentine's Day.
Let's look at the sheer logistics of this cheating scandal, because it is so modern and so shady. She was up in NYC for a work trip. While she was literally sitting in church, she gets a message from an anonymous burner DM account on Instagram.
In church.
Right. The message tells her that Gaston was just seen getting into his black Tesla with another woman. When she confronted him about it, his excuse was hilariously weak. He claimed he was just out to dinner with one of his guy friends.
I felt absolute horror listening to her describe this confrontation. When she pushed back and said she had proof it wasn't a guy friend, she said he literally laughed in her face over text message. He texted her, ha ha ha, and told her she has no proof. He ended their almost 3-year relationship via text message with zero remorse, zero empathy.
And here's where we have to look at the psychological tactics at play. The audacity of Gaston is staggering. Let's trace his steps. He essentially isolates her from her friends and her career. He holds her emotionally hostage by making her quit her job to prove her loyalty. Then he constantly gaslights her by bringing up her past trauma, specifically how her ex, Shep Rose, cheated on her, and uses that pain as a weapon to demand her submission. He builds this narrative that he is the safe guy, only to turn around and allegedly commit the exact same betrayal. It is textbook manipulative projection.
That makes my blood boil. It's so insidious.
He accused her environment of being toxic so he could control her within his own toxic environment.
Exactly. And she actually did the detective work. She reached out to the other woman who confirmed everything. The woman said she used to date Gaston, lived part-time between NYC and Charleston, and her timeline completely contradicted Gaston's lies. And you know what the wildest part of this whole saga is? After the agonizing breakup, Taylor reached out to Shep Rose, of all people.
Which is a massive plot twist in the Southern Charm universe. But Shep's response is actually very telling. He told her that he was beside himself watching this relationship unfold. He said he cared about her deeply, but felt he completely couldn't reach out while she was with Gaston because Gaston was so aggressively isolating her from her friends, her past, and the entire cast.
Which proves exactly how deep that isolation went. If even Shep Rose, a man not exactly known for his emotional boundaries, is recognizing the red flags and realizing he has to stay away because the boyfriend is too controlling, that tells you everything you need to know about the environment Taylor was trapped in.
Exactly. The transition from a controlling partner who gaslights you via text message to a partner who literally gets the police involved is a grim one, but it's happening right in front of our eyes on TLC. Let's examine the absolute nightmare currently unfolding in the 90-Day Fiancé universe.
Babes, this situation with Thaís and Patrick is beyond dark. We are in the Law & Order reality TV unit segment now, It has escalated far past reality TV drama into real-life legal peril. Thaís Ramone was literally arrested for domestic battery in Nevada after allegedly slapping her husband, Patrick Mendez. And Patrick is the one who called the cops on her.
We really need to examine the timeline of this altercation because the sequence of events is incredibly shady and feels highly orchestrated. Patrick officially served Thaís with divorce papers just 2 days prior to this incident. 2 days.
That timing is so suspect.
He then goes to her house, allegedly for one final amicable meeting with their 2-year-old daughter, Elise, before Thaís is scheduled to move back to Brazil. Tensions are obviously sky high, an argument breaks out, and she allegedly slaps him.
And Patrick just conveniently happens to have a video recording of the slap. Like, who just happens to have their camera rolling during a tense, private domestic conversation with their estranged wife? It feels like a setup to gain leverage.
It absolutely does.
He called the cops, she was arrested and processed, and now, in the official divorce filing, he is using this incident to demand sole legal and primary physical custody of Elise, keeping the child in the U.S. Thaís is fighting back, claiming she acted entirely in self-defense against what she describes as his escalating, controlling behavior.
Legally, Thaís posted a $3,000 bond, and subsequently, the district attorney actually dropped the charges due to DA denial, meaning they didn't feel there was enough evidence to prosecute. But let's look at the overarching meta-narrative here, the ultimate cringe factor, the thing that completely shatters the fourth wall of reality television, is that Thaís and Patrick are currently set to appear on the upcoming Season 3 of 90 Day Fiancé, The Last Resort.
I cannot even process the absurdity of this. Is there anything more awkward, more inherently dystopian than watching a couple on your television screen doing crust falls, doing intimate couple therapy exercises on a beautiful beach resort when you know for a factual certainty that they currently have domestic battery charges, mug shots, and vicious custody papers flying around in real time?
It completely destroys the viewing experience.
That season of The Last Resort was filmed last April.
You are watching a ghost of a relationship trying to be saved. You are watching producers try to weave a narrative of hope and reconciliation, knowing the actual ending is police reports and a bitter fight over a toddler. It puts the audience in a deeply uncomfortable position. It makes you question the ethics of airing the footage at all when the real-life consequences are this severe.
It feels exploitative at this point. We're watching a family fall apart for entertainment. But if you think Thaís and Patrick are a toxic mess defying all logic, wait until you hear how Janelle Evans is handling her life in the Teen Mom universe, because her current living arrangements are an affront to common sense.
Janelle is just the gift that keeps on giving to the gossip blogs purely through her own baffling life choices. She has officially relocated yet again. She moved from Vegas to Florida, specifically the Citra-Ocala area in Central Florida.
And her reasoning for this specific geographic choice. She claims Florida gives her, quote, St. Thomas vibes, so she can finally use her scuba license and snorkel with manatees.
Unbelievable.
Babes, I felt pure, unadulterated shock when she said this. I had to look at a map to make sure I wasn't the crazy one. Comparing Ocala, Florida, which is literally landlocked, swampy horse country, to the crystal clear waters of St. Thomas in the Caribbean.
It is geographically, culturally, and logically absurd. Ocala is smack in the middle of the state. You are not scuba diving in a cow pasture. The manatees are not hanging out in the local equestrian center.
No.
But honestly, the geographical delusion is the absolute least problematic part of her update. Let's rip apart the logic of how she actually executed this move.
Yeah.
Because she was filmed by paparazzi having her ex-husband, David Eason, physically load up her moving van.
The same David Eason who she currently has an active, legally binding restraining order against, the same David Eason who she testified under oath, possessed horrific exploitation materials, the man she fled from.
The very same. And her explanation for this blatant violation of her own safety measures, she went online and said her knee is busted, she's currently confined to a wheelchair, and she physically cannot pack a whole house by herself.
Oh my.
So she casually stated, I hired movers and I hired David. She literally claimed with a straight face that she hired her allegedly abusive ex-husband to pack her boxes because he needed to have a court-ordered visit with their daughter Inslee anyway, so they were just killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
It is terrifying that she thinks the public will buy this narrative. You do not hire the man you have a restraining order against to pack your fine china. You hire literal strangers.
Right. It just shows the deeply ingrained cyclical nature of toxic relationships. She cannot fully sever the tie. And to cap off this tragedy, their official custody hearing for Inslee was just postponed for the 9th time.
9th time.
The judicial system is just letting this chaotic, unstable environment roll on indefinitely while this poor child is caught in the middle.
It is a profound failure of the family court system. 9 postponements in a case involving active restraining orders and abuse allegations is unacceptable. But if you think Janelle's living arrangements are a toxic mess, wait until you hear how the Beverly Hills girlies are handling their divorces in the Bravo cinematic universe.
The BCU is currently operating like a Shakespearean tragedy.
It really is. Let's start with the disintegration of Dorrit and PK Kemsley on RHOBH. Dorrit just dropped her new memoir titled Unburdened. And she is not holding back. She is dropping absolute bombs about PK and the reality of their marriage behind closed doors.
Which is wild because they used to portray such a united front.
Right. She revealed that she only stayed on RHOBH in the early years because of PK. He loved the camera, he liked the celebrity status, and he wanted the platform. But she says his drinking changed the entire dynamic of their lives.
It's a very raw admission. She wrote that his reliance on alcohol completely blurred the lines between celebration and dependence. It dulled his natural warmth, it made him highly unpredictable, and it gave her terrible, lingering anxiety where she felt she had to constantly walk on eggshells and manage his moods before they escalated.
That sounds exhausting.
And now, in the present day, she says she's practically begging PK to just be civil for the sake of their 2 young children, but he is treating her like an absolute enemy in the divorce proceedings.
It is so deeply sad when a long-term marriage degrades to that level of animosity, especially with kids involved. You want to root for them to find peace. But while her home life is undeniably tragic right now, we have to talk about how incredibly petty her book launch party was.
Oh, the shade of it all.
Guess who showed up to Dorrit's big book signing event? Avi Gabe.
For those who might not be deep in the Beverly Hills lore, Avi is Sutton Strack's former personal assistant. Sutton and Avi parted ways over a year ago, and it was not amicable. They are no longer friends. In fact, there is clear animosity there.
So Avi shows up to support Dorrit, stands in line, and then gives an interview to a TikToker at the event, saying he's just there supporting a friend. But he goes out of his way to pointedly mention that his life has been fantastic and he's so happy and thriving since leaving Sutton's employment.
Let's analyze the mechanics of this move. Avi's appearance at that specific event is the ultimate petty flex against Sutton. He knows exactly what he's doing, and Dorrit knows exactly what she is doing by allowing it to be publicized.
Absolutely.
He's deliberately aligning himself with Sutton's castmate and frequent adversary just to rub his post-employment happiness in her face. It's a proxy war.
It is. Dorrit's book launch, having Sutton's ex-assistant as the main event on social media, is like throwing a massive dinner party just to show off that you adopted your enemy's discarded dog. It serves no purpose other than being purely designed to get under Sutton's skin.
It's a classic housewives maneuver. The battle is always fought in the margins, but that wasn't the only Sutton-adjacent drama this week.
No, it wasn't.
Garcelle Beauvais, Sutton's closest ally, was just on Kelly Ripa's podcast and revealed the real heartbreaking reason she actually walked away from RHOBH. She said she came home deeply hurt and emotionally exhausted after filming the season 14 reunion, and her 18-year-old son, Jade, hugged her and whispered, "It's enough, Mom. I think it's enough."
Oh, that makes me want to cry. When your children have to step in and act as the adult, when they have to protect your peace from a reality show that is eating you alive, you know the toxicity has gone way too far.
It's a sobering moment of clarity. And to make the Beverly Hills landscape even colder, Garcelle recounted running into Sutton at a red carpet movie premiere recently, postseason.
Oh, the premiere.
After being attached at the hip for years, after being the ultimate duo, they literally just said a stiff hello to each other and stood far apart on the red carpet. The warmth is completely gone. It's ice cold.
The Bravo universe is just fracturing everywhere you look. Friendships are dying. Marriages are burning. Let's look over at Vanderpump Rules and the Valley, because the delusion is spreading over there too. Joe Wenberg is still out here publicly spiraling over Tom Schwartz. Still. Tom has fully moved on. He has a new, seemingly normal girlfriend, Kiana Carroll. They're doing normal couple things. But Joe is taking to Instagram, literally tagging Ciara Miller from Summer House in her stories, comparing their situations, and claiming Tom is toying with her mental health because he never gave her a formal conversation for closure.
Which prompted the ultimate perfect deadpan response from Katie Maloney. Katie, who is married to the man, just went on a podcast and bluntly responded with 4 words: she should let him go.
Katie is the absolute queen of blunt delivery. She has zero patience for the victim narrative when it comes to Schwartz. Joe needs to realize that closure is not something another person hands you in a neatly wrapped box.
It really isn't.
Closure is something you give yourself. Expecting emotional maturity from Tom Schwartz is your first mistake. A man who wore open-toed slide sandals to his own wedding is not going to give you a profound emotional debriefing.
Exactly. You are looking for water in a desert. And over on the spinoff, The Valley, we have a whole different flavor of male toxicity being excused. Jesse Lally and his new girlfriend Lacey Nicole are out doing press, and they are aggressively defending Danny Abuko.
Oh, the Danny Bucco situation from the finale. So for context, Danny completely lost his mind and screamed at his wife Nia with terrifying aggression while he was dressed in full drag for a cast competition.
It was so uncomfortable to watch.
It was super aggressive, completely unprompted by Nia, to the point where even Lala Kent, who was not exactly known for her peaceful demeanor, had to physically step in and tell him to back off. But Jesse is defending him on podcast tours.
Of course he is.
Jesse claims it was just an isolated incident heavily fueled by alcohol, that Danny is just a terrible actor who got too into character, and that one bad night doesn't define his character or the reality of their marriage.
This requires a deeper look at the culture of these friend groups. Is Jesse right to defend his friend, arguing that the audience shouldn't judge an entire marriage based on one highly edited, drunken outburst? Or are we, as viewers and friends, being asked to ignore massive, glowing red flags?
I vote red flags.
When a man speaks to his wife with that level of deep-seated vitriol, even under the influence of tequila, it reveals a fundamental lack of underlying respect. Alcohol doesn't invent anger, it just removes the filter holding it back. I think Jesse is prioritizing defending the bro code over recognizing deeply problematic behavior in his friend.
I lean entirely toward red flags. Alcohol lowers inhibitions. It doesn't invent entirely new abusive personalities out of thin air. If that's how he acts on camera, what happens off camera? And speaking of entirely new personalities and performative behavior, Jesse also casually mentioned in that same interview that his ex-wife, Michelle, handed him the exact same divorce paperwork from 6 months prior just so they could get the moment on camera for the finale.
The performative nature of this cast is staggering. They are producing their own lives.
They really are. But if you want to talk about staggering behavior, let's head down to Atlanta, because our HOA is serving pure, unadulterated viciousness right now. The unwritten rules of housewives warfare are being completely rewritten by Angela Oakley and Shamea Morton.
They are at absolute war. Angela is accusing Shamea of feeding K. Michelle this wild, convoluted conspiracy theory that all the veteran housewives are secretly plotting against her behind the scenes.
Which is just standard petty housewives gossip.
Right, but Angela didn't just leave it at petty drama. She took the most massive, career-threatening low blow imaginable.
She went on camera, knowing millions of people watch this show, and explicitly told Shamea to quit her actual real-life jobs working in broadcasting and entertainment with the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Hawks.
And her reasoning?
Because Angela stated, allegedly, that Shamea is sleeping with the athletes on those teams.
I gasped. I clutched my chest. The absolute viciousness of dragging someone's real marriage, their professional corporate career, their HR standing, and their reputation in the sports industry onto national television over a rumor about K. Michelle's hurt feelings. That is going nuclear.
You do not mess with someone's actual livelihood outside the show.
It is mutually assured destruction. Once you cross the line from "you said something mean at dinner" to "I'm going to try to get you fired from your corporate job with allegations of infidelity," there is no coming back. And it perfectly illustrates the blurred lines between reality TV and the real world.
From Atlanta housewives throwing wild accusations to literal politicians throwing fits. Let's talk about reality stars trying to run the government in our bizarre career pivot segment.
Oh boy, buckle up.
Babes, I cannot believe the words that are about to come out of my mouth. Mike, The Situation, Sorrentino, the man who invented GTL, the man who famously rammed his own head into a concrete wall in Italy, wants to run for governor of New Jersey.
This is where we look at the pop culture pipeline. Mike says he wants to run for office in 3 to 5 years. Now, to be fair to his growth, currently, he and his wife Lauren are working on opening Archangel Centers for Addiction Recovery across all 50 states, which is a genuinely amazing initiative given his own highly publicized battle with addiction.
It is, for sure.
But his actual political platform for governing an entire state, he literally stated his platform is, quote, no property tax.
He just wants to eliminate property tax entirely.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're just looking at this strictly through a pop culture lens here, impartially reporting. But how does he think roads are paved? How are schools funded? He just threw out no property tax, like he was ordering a pizza with no pepperoni.
It is fascinating from a sociological standpoint. But Mike isn't the only one utilizing this reality to politics pipeline. We are seeing a wave of this. Spencer Pratt, the ultimate reality TV villain from the Hills, officially launched a campaign for Los Angeles mayor.
Spencer Pratt.
And Farrah Abraham from Teen Mom launched what can only be described as a deeply confused, chaotic campaign for mayor of Austin, Texas.
That Farrah Abraham campaign launch was the funniest, most cringe-inducing piece of media I have ever consumed. She launched a whole website, did a whole photo shoot, only to find out live during an interview on TMZ that the Austin mayoral race isn't even happening until 2028. She had the wrong year.
Oh, that is so embarrassing.
And without missing a beat, she immediately pivoted on live television and said, oh, well, then I'm running for City Council District 5 instead.
It is the ultimate reality TV pivot. Oh, the lead role isn't open. Fine, put me in the ensemble cast. It treats public office like a casting call. It shows that for a certain tier of reality star, the mechanics of governing don't matter. It is purely about acquiring a new title and a new platform for attention.
It really is just about the camera time. And speaking of public servants and camera time, let's talk about the mayor of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, J. William Reynolds. He actually went on TMZ Live to absolutely blast a former local police officer named Shyann Rifle.
Yes, the Love Island cop.
Exactly. Why is the mayor on TMZ? Because Shyann quit the police force after only 8 months on the job to go be a contestant on Love Island USA Season 8.
The mayor was furious, and his phrasing was wild. He used this deeply condescending analogy on national television, saying if you leave litter there, someone's got to pick it up. He was talking about the financial and temporal investment the city made in training Shyann at the police academy, only for Shyann to ditch his badge and his pension to go wear swim trunks on Peacock.
Will Shyann regret ditching a stable, lifelong career with a pension for a 1 in 20 shot at winning a reality dating show? Maybe. But you know who isn't regretting their reality TV fame right now? The cast of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. They're capitalizing on every single second.
They are maximizing their 15 minutes of fame with incredible efficiency. Case in point, Miranda Hope was just spotted at the Setai in South Beach, Miami. She was on a very flirty 2-hour dinner date with Pepe Garcia. And where's Pepe from? He's from Love Island USA Season 7.
The crossover.
It is the Bravo, Peacock, and Hulu crossover event of the century. The reality TV dating pool is just one giant, incestuous VIP section.
I actually love that for her, especially after all the heavy, dark drama with her ex, Chase, and the constant infighting with her co-star, Jesse Draper, which, by the way, Jesse is in incredibly hot water with the fans right now.
Oh, the TikTok video.
Yes. Jesse posted a TikTok doing a really weird, exaggerated horse walk while wearing socks in her house. Fans immediately flooded the comments, accusing her of mocking Miranda's recent, highly criticized runway walk at Miami Swim Week.
Jessie is backpedaling hard. She claims she was just poking fun at herself and the terrible walk she's seen at generic mall casting calls back in the day. But the timing is incredibly suspect given their history of subtle digs.
Very suspect.
Meanwhile, keeping with the Cess LMW cast, Taylor Frankie Paul finally got a major legal update in her ongoing, highly publicized custody case with Dakota Mortensen.
Yes. The judge officially lifted the supervision requirement. She now gets unsupervised midweek and every other weekend visits with her 2-year-old son ever, which has to be a massive relief for her.
Absolutely.
But the judge did extend the active restraining orders between Taylor and Dakota, ordering them to stay at least 100 feet away from each other at all times and mandating that they both continue individual therapy.
It is definitely a step forward for her as a mother, but legally it shows that the court still sees a highly volatile, potentially dangerous situation between the adults. They don't trust them to co-parent in the same room. Speaking of volatile, unpredictable futures, let's look at the absolute dystopian nightmare that is the future of reality TV.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It involves artificial intelligence and, bizarrely, former first ladies.
This is the story that completely broke my brain today. There is a new show called Non-Player Combat, Season 2, currently airing on YouTube and the Alimation platform. It is a 100% AI-generated battle royal reality show. Let me repeat that. No real humans.
It's terrifying.
They are actively negotiating with actual famous reality stars from shows like Survivor and The Traitors to license their likenesses and have their AI avatars compete against each other in challenges. They even mentioned spinning it off into a bed rot challenge where the AI avatars just lay in bed.
We are entering the uncanny valley of entertainment. Why pay a reality star a day rate when you can just code their personality to backstab someone? And connecting to this surreal intersection of high culture and trash TV, former First Lady Michelle Obama just revealed on the Let Me Say This podcast that she is a massive reality TV fan.
I love this so much.
Just reporting this impartially, she said she uses reality TV to educate Barack on pop culture, and she genuinely compares the genre to a sociological study of sports and human behavior.
She wants to be on The Traitors. She explicitly said she wants to be cast as a faithful and hunt down the traitors in Alan Cummings' Scottish castle.
Which would be iconic.
Is there anything more dystopian, more peak 2026 than finding out we're on the verge of getting AI-generated reality TV avatars fighting to the death on YouTube while a former First Lady of the United States is sitting at home wishing she was wearing a tartan cape, analyzing the deceptive behavior of reality stars?
It proves my working theory that reality TV is the great cultural equalizer. It comes for us all eventually. Which brings us to our final rundown segment, the quick hits. We are hitting the updates on toxicity, babies, and breakups at lightning speed. Let's start with the shattered illusion of the Fab Five.
This one hurts. The dark truth of Queer Eye is coming out. Karamo Brown finally broke his silence on the long-rumored Fab Five feud. He revealed exactly how toxic that set actually became behind the scenes.
It's so sad to hear.
He said that within the first few weeks of filming years ago, someone on set filed a false sexual harassment complaint against him, which immediately broke the foundational trust within the group.
He was completely cleared of any wrongdoing after an investigation, but the psychological damage was permanent. The absolute breaking point, though, the detail that is so hard to hear, was when his own mother visited the set.
Oh, this part destroyed me.
She overheard his castmates viciously trash-talking him on a hot mic that they didn't realize was live. Karamo said he saw the tears welling up in his mother's eyes as she looked at him and said, "I thought they were your friends."
That physically hurts my heart to even say out loud, "I thought they were your friends," is the absolute saddest thing a mother could say in that situation. It completely changes how you view the entire legacy of that show. Knowing that the joy, the hugs, and the healing on screen were masking that level of deep exclusion and betrayal behind the scenes is incredibly disillusioning.
It's the ultimate reality TV facade. Let's move from the emotional trauma of reality TV to how celebrities are prepping their kids for it. Over on Calabasas Confidential, we have celebrity kids giving us the inside scoop on growing up on camera.
Right.
Larsa Pippen's son, Preston, is featured on the show, and Larsa gave him a very stark, very cynical warning about entering the industry. Don't really trust anybody. She explicitly told him that once the red light on the cameras turns on, even the people you think are your closest friends will act differently to secure screen time.
It's sad, but honestly, based on what we just talked about with Summer House and Queer Eye, it's completely accurate advice. And on the complete opposite end of the parenting spectrum, you have rock star Bret Michaels' daughter, Rain, also starring on the show.
Right.
Bret gave her the most classic, generic, boring dad advice ever recorded. Just be yourself.
Be yourself is terrible advice for reality TV. You need to be a slightly heightened, more dramatic version of yourself. Also, just briefly noting the news cycle around Bret impartially, he recently made headlines for backing out of Donald Trump's Freedom 250 event. Just an interesting pop culture intersection there.
Absolutely. Now, on to some quick Bravo hits.
Yeah.
The Real Housewives of Rhode Island is getting incredibly nasty right out of the gate. Liz McGraw was just branded a monster by her castmate Alicia Carmody.
Already?
Yes, because Liz completely invalidated Alicia's childhood homelessness on camera. Liz essentially told Alicia she didn't fit the proper definition of being homeless because she had extended family members' couches to sleep on after her dad left and the bank foreclosed on their house.
That is so tone deaf.
To make it worse, Liz then physically pushed Joe Ellen's chair in the middle of a heated argument.
Liz is coming in way too hot. She is trying to secure her diamond, or whatever the Rhode Island equivalent is, by being as abrasive as possible. In other deeply messy breakup news, Mama June's Jessica Shannon and Shyann McCant have officially announced their split. This comes just weeks after their lavish wedding special aired on television.
And babes, remember the context of this relationship. This is the couple that actively tried to have a baby by having Shyann sleep with Jessica's ex-brother-in-law, Josh Efford.
I can't even keep track of that family tree.
The level of mess is completely unparalleled, and Mama June was literally in the Facebook comments of the breakup announcement basically screaming, "I told you so!" to anyone who would listen.
The chaotic energy of that family is a scientific marvel. And finally, we want to end on some important real-life health updates from the reality world, because amidst all the petty gossip, these are real people going through massive life events.
We really do.
The challenge star Nicole Zanata just welcomed twin girls, Serafina and Madison, but she shared the terrifying news that the girls were born with congenital CMV, or cytomegalovirus.
For those who aren't familiar, CMV is a common virus that can be incredibly dangerous if contracted during pregnancy. The twins had to spend significant time in the NICU. Nicole is incredibly bravely using her platform to spread CMV awareness, warning expecting parents that what might just feel like a common cold can actually have severe, life-altering effects on the baby.
It is so important that she is speaking out about that. We are sending so much love and positive energy to Nicole and her beautiful girls. And we also need to send a massive wave of love to Teddy Mellencamp. She just shared a very raw update on her ongoing battle with stage IV melanoma.
Yeah, she did.
Her doctors recently decided to wait 3 to 4 months between her preventative scans instead of doing it every single month. And she admitted that this longer waiting period is giving her raging anxiety and debilitating panic attacks.
She posted a very vulnerable, tearful video saying she is desperately trying to be positive for her kids and her followers, but she is just fundamentally really scared. She expressed feeling incredibly lonely in the process, especially as she navigates the intense stress of her very public divorce.
It is a deeply sobering reminder of the fragile human beings that exist behind the heavily filtered reality TV personas we consume every day.
It really is. Reality TV gives us the highest highs of ridiculous, distracting drama, but we can never forget that these are real lives, real families, and real struggles happening off camera.
And that, my friends, is the comprehensive breakdown of the absolute madness that was today's gossip cycle. We have unpacked the karma, the crimes, the bizarre career pivots, the AI dystopia, and the genuine heartbreak. We have traversed the entire spectrum of the human condition, courtesy of reality television.
We have truly earned our Karamo Ribbon Crunch Frappuccinos today. The dental clinic can wait 5 more minutes. Snark Squad, thank you so much for hanging out with us through this absolute chaos. We could not do this without you. You make the madness fun.
Before you go back to your emails and your spreadsheets, we have some mandatory homework for you. We need you to jump into the comments right now. First and foremost, tell us your exact Starbucks order. Do not hold back. Do not be embarrassed. Give us all the chaotic modifications. We want to know how much syrup you are really consuming.
Second, tell us your favorite book genre and drop your absolute latest book talk recommendation. As we discussed, we are relying on you for our next read so we can continue avoiding our adult responsibilities. And finally, what do you think was the biggest, messiest, most unhinged piece of gossip from today's chat?
Was it the Summer House betrayal timeline? Janelle's delusion about Florida? The AI reality show? Let us know your thoughts.
Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this podcast with your messiest bestie, the one who loves the drama just as much as you do. And keep those book recommendations coming.
We're leaving you with one final provocative thought to mull over today while you pretend to work. If an AI reality show becomes the new normal, which current reality star do you think is actually a robot in disguise? Because, honestly, looking at some of these dating timelines, human emotion seems to have left the chat.
Someone check Tom Schwartz for a motherboard immediately.
Literally.
Stay messy, stay booked and busy. And babes, we'll see you on the snark side.